If you a king and queen, why you not in the kingdom? Simple question. Because the Lord's kingdom is here. The Lord already treated us like kings and queens. All we got to do is live it out. The problem comes when we don't know whose we are and who we are and what that comes with. We don't know who we are and whose we are and what that comes with. What I'm trying to say is the Lord already treated us like kings and queens, but we don't really know that. We don't know that because we don't be up in here. We don't be up in here. We say, this boring, this ain't relevant, this is hypocritical, this is backwards, this don't know what it's talking about, this ain't got the topics for my life, but that means you ain't read it. Because if I can still read it today and be affected, so can you. And I ain't even gotta force it. That's what a lot of people think, that once you try and love God, that you gotta force it. Ain't no forcing happen. I just felt warm, I felt good, I felt the joy of the Lord, so I kept going. Ain't no forcing. Back to what I was saying about who you are, whose you are, and what that comes with. But you got to recognize that God already showed us the most love he could. If he's a God of love, that's what most of us know him as. That's what the Bible says. He's a God of love. His creation, his only son. Don't you think he would love him more than anything? Like literally, one of the most powerful things he's created. And he chose to give that, send him down to earth, put him in flesh, have him experience what we go through, have him die for a whole bunch of people who don't care about him, who won't read this, who won't pray in the morning, who won't do nothing, who won't go to church, who won't listen to his music. He sent his son that he loves the most out of anything, just to show that he doesn't love him most out of anything. He loved us most out of anything. He loved you most out of anything. He showed the love first. He made the first move, but we don't know whose we are. So we don't recognize that he did that for us because he's trying to claim us as his children. And when you're a child, you're loved by your father. And a lot of us don't have good relationship with our father, no relationship with our father. So we don't know what it's like to love our father back. We don't know what it's like to give a man attention in the way that the God of love, the God of our life, the God of the heavens would want us to love him. But then we figure out who we are. Since he died for us, we ain't gotta struggle. We ain't gotta go through the things that we've been going through. We ain't gotta experience the same pain that other people experience. We ain't gotta feel all the emotions that the devil would like us to feel. We ain't gotta experience all the things the devil would like us to experience. But that's only when you in the kingdom as a king or a queen. Because what we like to do is say, oh yeah, I'm a Christian or I'm this. But I'm gonna go out and do this. I'm a go drink. I'm gonna go to that party. I'm gonna go smoke outside. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go get live. But if you think about a kingdom, a castle, ain't none of that happening up in there. You have to leave out of the castle and sometimes leave out the city that got the walls around it just to find the other stuff over there. So what you doing is you leaving your situation where God has already set you up to be successful and happy just to go experience all the stuff over there. Because what my God promises is living. My God promises happiness. My God promises joy. My God promises prosperity. My God promises love. What do drugs promise? High? And where you gonna go with that high? Where you how high you think you're going? Cause you come back down, don't you? But when you on this high, you don't come back down. Nope. You don't come back down unless you come back down. Unless you make yourself stop reading it, then you come back down. But when you reading it every day, you don't come back down. What is the what is the drinks promise? What is the girls promise? What is sex promise? It don't promise nothing that this promise is right here. So you don't know who you are and whose you are. So you don't understand the promises that are going on around you. You don't understand the things that the Lord has set up. Like in Numbers 13, verse 17, A lot of us are similar to Moses in this way. When after Moses got the slaves out of Egypt, God's people, and he went and was traveling to the promised land after he went through the sea, after the Red Sea parted, and then they finally got to the promised land. The land that the Lord had promised them, he said, this is where you will live with my people, the slaves from Egypt. This is where you're gonna live at. He gonna send some spies up in there to say, oh, go make sure it's safe. We're not going to trust exactly what Jesus said. We're going to still go up in there and be like, well, I don't really know if it's safe. I don't really know if we're supposed to be here. Even though God said go there, you've been traveling for over 40 years and you not just going to walk up in there. If God promised me something and it's been 40 years, I'm walking up in there. I don't care about nothing. I'm stepping my foot up in there clean. I'm running up in there. That's where I belong. But they sent spies up in there because they were scared to accept God's promises. A lot of us are scared to accept God's promises because we don't want the responsibility. Being a king and queen, you can't be like everybody else. But not being like everybody else puts you on a pedestal. It puts you above. It puts you in a place where you can experience more happiness, more joy. But you want to be below because you don't want the responsibilities of being the king and the queen. You don't want to really take on all the love that God says because you don't know if it's true. You've been hurt before. You don't really know if what God is saying is true because of what you've experienced from God's people. But Jesus also experienced religious hurt. All the religious leaders, while Jesus was on the planet, those are people who got him killed. It's religion that has killed so many aspects of God and what he's been trying to do. And even his son, Jesus. Religion killed Jesus. So stop treating God like a religion. This is not in the church. You can experience this outside of a church. God is not a religion. God is a relationship. You can say Christianity is religion, but God himself is a relationship. God himself is a relationship. God himself is a relationship. So treat it like a relationship, not a religion. That's where you figure out that you are a king and a queen.